Hello everyone. Have you heard about the term of AI Workslop? Well, this is broadly gaining popularity now, and it refers to AI-generated content sent by workers to each other that appears polished but is not actually very good. It might take a bunch of paragraphs to say nothing meaningful. It might hallucinate, it might be inaccurate. It's not polished, it's sloppy work. It has been shown by research by Stanford Media Lab and BetterUp to erode credibility and trust between workers. And of course, that has clear implications for associations when you're thinking about staff working with each other, staff working with volunteers, and staff serving members. Workslop is actually quite dangerous. Workers waste nearly 2 hours correcting each instance of Workslop. Large organizations, it can cost them almost $9 million annually. And although it won't cost your association that much, it will cost a lot. These are serious productivity losses, whereas AI is supposed to give you productivity gains. They threaten mission delivery for your association. Now, let's talk a little bit about worker relationships. Over 50% of colleagues, 57% in fact, lose confidence in colleagues who use AI badly. AI users who create Workslop are viewed as less creative, trustworthy, and intelligent, which not only harms workplace relationships, but also damages other things that associations value, like membership renewal, sponsor confidence, and your brand integrity. The issue comes with pressure to use AI without proper training and proper guidance. Staff feel anxious about AI replacing their jobs, leading to poor use, so they can say, well, AI did such a bad job. Not the way that you want things to go. That's going to harm your association, not help it in AI adoption. So, what you need to focus on is agency and co-creation. Treat AI as a tool that empowers your staff, not a shortcut for them having a lot of volume of production, not a forcing function, not forcing them to use it, but helping them create AI tools that will be helpful for them to build their own tools using no-code and low-code AI rather than buying black box vendor solutions, which unfortunately too many associations are doing nowadays. So create custom tools based on your specific expert data, which shifts to your culture of your employees from being just passive consumers of black box vendor tools to active problem solvers and creators of these tools, which demystifies AI for them and creates ownership. That is what will give you quality. So here's a case study of a national healthcare association I worked with. So first, without me there, they adopted AI, and that did not work out well. For example, AI policy briefs had inaccurate clinical and regulatory references, and that volunteers who were working with it spent hours in corrections, and they were growing increasingly unhappy with this. Trust between expert members, volunteers was weakening, trust between staff was weakening, and between staff and volunteers was weakening. So that's not good. So they asked me to help out assessing the cultural and workflow gaps in AI adoption. What I found is that staff especially felt pressure to use AI without good standards, while volunteers felt excluded from AI decisions that affected their volunteering. So what we did was a co-creation process where staff and volunteers together co-built an advocacy assistant as part of a workshop series. The tool was trained on over 15 years of the association's own archives and the input of expert volunteers. So committee meeting time was, as a result of using this tool, revising drafts dropped by 47%, and the volunteer members were much happier with the outcome. And moreover, another benefit is that over time, with adoption of these tools and other AI tools, renewal rates among advocacy engaged members rose by over 16% next year. So that's great. The board also saw improved transparency and quality in developing policy, which helped restore overall member trust and volunteer confidence. So, as you're thinking about your association, you want to prioritize empowerment and buy-in and co-creation before deploying black box AI vendor solutions. Cultivate agency. empower staff and your members and your volunteers, of course, to co-create these solutions, establish clear quality standards for AI-assisted work, and create communities of practice for chapters to share lessons learned. Measure substantive outcomes, not simply metrics like AI usage rates, which is very valuable, but also metrics like decreased committee time spent reviewing regulatory policy filings, and so on. So, this is what I want you to be thinking about as you finish listening to this podcast of the Future Forward Association. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you checked out the show and leave a review. It helps others discover the show and helps us improve the show. And if you have any questions, email me as always at gleb, Gleb, @disasteravoidanceexperts.com.